bad news. Ryan Garcia, after announcing that his next fight with Pacquiao was done and it was happening, a dream come true, his own trainer, Eddie Reynoso, says he doesn't even like the fight with Pacquiao for Ryan right now. We're going to talk about it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to my channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats and all the channel donations. Appreciate you guys. Let's get it. Now, Eddie Reynoso did a recent interview, and I want to tell you guys some quotes. It says, the media has quickly swarmed the developing storyline, although Garcia's team isn't entirely on board with such a fight, referring to the Pacquiao fight. I will put the link in the description so you guys can definitely check that out and read in it in its entirety. Eddie Reynoso says, and is quoted as saying, quote, "I really don't like that fight. Manny Pacquiao has all that experience. It's a fight at a heavier weight against a naturally bigger fighter. But in my role as a teacher, my job is to prepare him for these fights that he and his team accept. Yes, he does consult with me, just as he does with his advisor, Guadalupe Valencia, and his mother and father. But he respects my opinion when it comes to that. And I give him my opinion on those fights from my perspective and my point of view as a trainer. But the final decision is made by Golden Boy Promotions, by his promoter, Oscar De La Hoya. They value my input and take it into consideration, and I am pleased with that part of it. For what it's worth, Golden Boy Promotions president Eric Gomez has publicly insisted that the fight won't happen next. Ideally, that they could bring Garcia to more realistic and still lucrative pairings in his natural weight class." Wow, what a mess, like I've been telling you. Reynoso says, "The fight I like more is Tank Davis. To me, it's a far more interesting fight. They are at the same weight, and their fight can exceed expectations." This is bad. He says a fight between Ryan Garcia and Gervonta can be the biggest fight in boxing. They are two of the biggest stars of this new generation. Manny Pacquiao is great, but he's a part of the past generation. The young fans of Ryan Garcia and the young fans of Gervonta Davis are going to want to see that fight. End quote. Now, Ryan Garcia is quickly becoming a cautionary tale of like Insta fame kind of gone wrong. Now, in one regard, it's brilliant. It's brilliant that in today's modern age, you can, go pop early. You don't even have to fight the big fights. You can build your social media presence, be active, entertain people with the body shot challenge, just different things, whatever pranks or, whatever you do, team up with other YouTubers and other influencers and then get your point across and get your brand apart. I made my whole name and I've been full-time on YouTube for several years now, so I salute that. I salute anybody, entrepreneurial endeavors, making money digitally, having a product, those types of things, hustling. So I'm not mad at that. That's very good for Ryan Garcia and anybody who wants to make money online. It's a big industry and it's available. But the downside is when you're young, you tend to make mistakes. I think we can all attest to that. And Ryan Garcia, the mistake he's making is it's a gift and a curse. The same place that blew up his popularity is the same place he's running to before his business is squared away, right? This is literally the third time that Ryan Garcia has prematurely posted a fight in his last, in the last 12 months. He did this in the summertime. So go look at Ryan Garcia's Instagram story. Don't take my word for it. In July, roughly July, I think it was the month of the 4th of July, Independence Day. In July, he has a flyer that he posted and he says something to the effect of, "Yep, it's done. My fight with Luke Campbell. I'm so excited. Catch us in December." December rolls around and Errol Spence takes that date. Danny Garcia, they were supposed to fight in November, but then they moved it to December 5th to accommodate a crowd at Jerry's World, right? And all of a sudden, his fight in December doesn't happen in December, and it gets pushed back to this year, 2021. So you again have Ryan Garcia, who posted in July that he was going to be fighting Luke Campbell, and then Oscar De La Hoya, keep in mind, days later said it's not done. So basically, at the point in which Ryan Garcia announced it, it hadn't been formalized and finalized. Then recently, he posted a fan-made flyer or whatever saying Gervonta Tank Davis is next. And he, through that and other appearances and stuff like Mike Tyson's podcast, he used those opportunities to, quote unquote, put pressure on Gervonta. He even said something to the effect of, Gervonta, if you don't fight me next, then your whole career is in jeopardy. Your legacy will be ruined and forever tainted. You won't go down in history. You won't be remembered as a warrior. You must fight me. So people are like, oh, cool. He's going to fight Gervonta Davis. Davis sounded like he was about that action and they were going to make the fight. Right? Gervonta was putting little clues saying, you know who you talk to, right before the Luke Campbell fight. And, rumors came out that it was Al Heyman. So it was looking like Ryan was going to fight against Gervonta Davis. About a couple weeks after that, he says, guess what, guys? Forget everything I just told you. I got a bigger fight, so I got to put Tank on the back burner. I got to push Tank to the side now. And that was to fight Manny Pacquiao. It later came out. And then he posted it and said, hey, I'm fighting Manny Pacquiao. Dream come true. I'm going to be training so hard. This is such a big opportunity. This is why I have to fight him. And instead of fighting Tank, Tank can wait because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So he blabbermouthed and the fight wasn't even done because now you're having his own trainer saying that the fight is not solely in his control. As I've told you, Ego Stradamus strikes again. There are people within his team. He has his parents, they have a say so. His trainer has some opinion on it. He has an advisor and he has Golden Boy and Oscar De La Hoya, which is exactly what I told you. So Ryan Garcia, he's living fast and announcing fights and stuff like that, but he doesn't really have power of attorney of his career. And this is everything that I've told you on my channel. And the other thing is, it's bad to count your chickens before they hatch. You put out the news of the Pacquiao fight. So the Luke Campbell fight eventually happened. It took, quite some time for it to actually be announced. And then for it to actually happen, it didn't happen the same year. It happened, just this January. But even worse, Ryan Garcia's last two flyers and stuff that he ran to his social media page to flaunt and post, it looks like neither one of them might happen, which is Gervonta Davis or Pacquiao. I mean, I told you guys this. We'll see what happens. I'll report the facts and the news as it comes out. Like, I make it very clear on my channel when something that I put out is my personal opinion and a projection or a theory versus the fact. And I told you it was of my opinion that Ryan Garcia Pacquiao or Tank wasn't going to happen next. And it looks like I'm very close to being correct with that premonition or that prediction, because the Tank fight, he said he had to put Tank on the back burner. So they're probably working on Tank's next move because he said he was fighting Pacquiao. Now it comes out that the fighters have agreed to fight, but the money to put up the fight and the logistics haven't been ironed out. Then you have Golden Boy on record, which is why I said bad news in the title. You have Golden Boy on record, the promoters of Ryan Garcia's young career, and their spokesperson through their president, Eric Gomez, he's telling you that fight ain't happening next. That Pacquiao fight ain't happening next. Now, about a week and a half later, you have his own trainer who also trains Canelo, and he says he doesn't even prefer the fight with Pacquiao. So basically, Eddie Reynoso is telling you what I told you, but I was a little bit more blunt. because that's his, you know, he's not going to try to ether his fighter and discourage his own fighter, but he's saying Pacquiao is from a different generation and Pacquiao has all the experience. He basically knows that giving up the weight, Ryan will lose, which is pretty much what I said. That's what it sounds like to me. If you guys want to beat around the bush, have at it in the comment section. But it sounds like Eddie Reynoso is aware that Pacquiao is too experienced. They would be fighting at a weight. This is just not a good fight for Ryan Garcia. The exhibition, that would have been whatever. But now, since Ryan blabbermouthed it, he opened the floodgate for people to criticize the exhibition. And then for the fight to really happen, the investors probably got cold feet seeing the poor responses for the fight being an exhibition. And then now over the course of time, you know, they had to get more serious and turn it into a more serious fight to try to make it happen, which would mean Ryan would have to go up from 135 to probably 143, you know, or at least 140. But I don't think Pacquiao would even try to make 140. So it'd probably be similar to the Chris Algieri fight, catch weight, something like 142, 143. And it would be a real fight, which means it would blemish Ryan's record. And then now that the fight's gotten real, you hear Eddie Reynoso, and he's like, nah, I don't even like that fight. I like the Gervonta Davis fight, because at least that's someone in or around the division that he fights at and around his age, closer to his age. So, you know, the experience levels would be different than at least Pacquiao. Pacquiao has 70 plus fights. So we'll see how it plays out, but it's looking real bad for Ryan Garcia Pacquiao. And this is precisely why you don't run to social media before the ink dries on the contract and it's too late. You're supposed to announce stuff when it's too late, because now nobody can embrace for it. Nobody can have an opinion. Nobody can hate. The business is already done. Ryan didn't do that. So this probably annoyed Golden Boy, I would imagine, as I believe they didn't want the Pacquiao fight. Oscar De La Hoya fought Pacquiao and got stopped. That was his last fight of his whole career. So he knows Pacquiao firsthand, that Pacquiao's a beast. So why would he want to put, he just lost Canelo. Let's just use simple common sense logic. He just lost Canelo to a settlement, and that was his #1 cash cow. Then he has someone out of Canelo's gym that's at least popular and you can build that, who's very young and just got dropped by Luke Campbell. Why would he want to put him in there with Pacquiao and risk it all when he's only 22 years old and Pacquiao has 70 fights and he doesn't even have half of the fights that Pacquiao has, you know, especially if it's not going to be an exhibition where it wouldn't hurt him or they're going light on each other and stuff like that, more so sparring. It really don't make sense. And then on top of that, he'd have to move up. So he'd have the power disadvantage. He'd have the weight disadvantage. He'd have the inexperienced disadvantage. I mean, the fight doesn't really make sense. You know, of course I'll watch it just because it's such a, you know, weird fight. You know, I'll watch it. Big names, you know, try to support it, but it just, to me, it doesn't really make sense. And I think these are further indications that the Pacquiao Ryan Garcia talks are breaking up. This is why you don't run to the internet. But we'll see how it plays out. If Ryan doesn't fight either one of them, or at least Devin Haney, it's going to be an extremely bad look. And I don't think Golden Boy particularly wants any of those fights next. He just got dropped by Luke Campbell in the second round. Does he want to fight two super aggressive southpaws like Pacquiao or Gervonta next, right? Or does he want to fight a very skilled Devin Haney who does have some wins over him as well in the amateurs and is a champion? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. We working.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.